I just love this card. The reason I love this card is because it has the multiple languages of thank you on it. So I don't have to worry if I'm giving it to somebody who's German, French, or English. What we're going to do with this card, we need our green old olive card base. We're just going to fold that in half. And you'll notice in the ephemera pack, and remember I talked about the double Hollyhock that has the frame on it. So what I'm going to do is actually just take it out of there, carefully pop it out, right? There we go, and the frame is attached. I think that's a great idea. It looks fantastic. Got that? I also want to take out some of the sentiments that I want to use. So I'm going to take out one of each language that says thanks. So there's a thanks, there's merci, and danke. So I want that German one too. This is really simple and quickly places together. What we could do is, I was just thinking, we're going to create this card as it is, but I was thinking if I could cut this off, take another piece of old olive and emboss this and then layer it on top, which would look really cool too. So this one just has the card base. You know what? Let's do that alternative one, and I'm going to show you how. Let's see how that turns out. What I'm going to do, we need to have our trimmer. Let's place our little ephemera packs off to the side. We are going to get our trimmer. Now, for this card, literally, I just thought of it now. We will be needing a big piece of cardstock, and I'm going to be using that old olive I brought in because it's the same as the card base. So we're going to cut the cardstock and this card base. So what I want to do is I am going to cut this at 4 inches. I'm going to put the comments or the so I'm going to put the dimensions listed below. So I'm going to cut this at 4 inches because I want this a little bit smaller than the card base. So 4 inches by 5 1/4. Okay, so we have this piece which we are going to emboss. Before I go there, I am going to cut my card base. Again, it is a standard card base, which is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. We're going to score it there. Again, dimensions on the bottom. Okay. So there is my card base. Use my bone folder to make that a little bit more flat. And you'll notice that this fits right on top. I think this is going to turn out better than my original card, which is this one here, just because the different layers and the heights and the dimensions in this card base. I am going to emboss this with something. Let's go and see what we can do. I wanted to choose an embossing folder that was not too flowery, kind of subtle. So what I went is with these ferns, and I thought that would match really well with the flower theme that's in there. So I embossed it. Oh my gosh, that looks absolutely cool. So I can still see some of the lines that were from the card base, but they are a little bit more subtle. That is actually very cool. Sometimes when you're looking at something, an idea comes to you and, you just got to go with it. So I'm going to glue this right onto that cardstock card base that I created. Oh, that looks so cool even on the back. I love that. Again, placing my glue on. I like to make a little design. I don't know about you. I like to make a swirly design. I think I'm Picasso with my adhesive. There we go. I'm going to just place that on there. Just make sure it squishes into all the little areas with a nice little frame all the way around. Looking fantastic. Now, I'm going to get that ephemera pack or the image that has the hollyhocks on it. I want to give it some height. So again, we're going to go with the dimensionals, and I'm going to place them under the hollyhocks on the left-hand side. Now you may have some smaller dimensionals that you could use. Go right ahead. What I need, where'd my dimensional go? What I need to do is, if I need to get height around the edge here, I'm going to have to get my dimensionals, and I'm going to have to cut so that they are still flush with the edge around. So I'm going to try and use the ones from the side. Let's see how that goes. I'm going to place it in, and it looks like it just fits. I'm going to flip it over and see how that. So a little bit of it points out. So all I'm going to do is just snip it down. So that, whoops, that tells me when I place my dimensionals on, I have to do a little bit of finessing if I use the larger ones. There are smaller ones. Let's see if the smaller ones will fit. We need to give support all the way around in those particular corners. There we go. I think that fits. Looks like it's clearing. I need another one in each corner to make sure that the frame is well secure. I'm going to take these off. And place it on the card base. Here we go. I can double check. There are no dimensionals. Oh, I'm just going to place it on. And I want it to be kind of even all the way around. And when I say even, I want it left, right, top, bottom. I'm going to take my sentiments and I'm going to place them on. I'm going to have the word thank you actually in the middle, and I want to have them kind of evenly spaced out. Now remember, we placed dimensionals on this frame. If I did one here and there, it will kind of be angled. So what I want to do is I'm going to be placing dimensionals particularly on this side, and I'm going to place 2 on there because I want it to kind of make like a bridge over that other frame. So I'm going to have, so you'll notice it's on one side only. And I'm going to place it on here, and I'm going to eyeball it. So I'm starting with the bottom one. I will work with the top one next, because then placing the one in the center will be easier. Again, find out which way that the words go, place the dimensionals so it becomes like a bridge over that frame. Again, eyeballing it. There we go. I can see there's still enough space in the center. Taking a look on where the word is and placing that on top. Okay, so I had enough room, top and bottom, to put that center one in. I think that looks fantastic, and I really like the idea of the embossed. Again, I'm going to be adding some little embellishments here and there. And Winkostella to my flower. Always got to add Winkostella everywhere. There we go. And that card is done. So I'm going to bring in the original. So there is the original card. It looks nice, but you know what? I really like the embossed part of this. This part really adds a difference. Just remember, bring in an extra piece of cardstock for the card base. Cut this down so it's nicely framed, emboss it, and continue on. Those look absolutely great. I am loving that.